Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing a vintage cube draft. I just haven't done one of these in a long time. I feel like the last 5 months have been preparing for something, preparing for the regional championship, then the Pro Tour, then another regional championship, NYSC, Pauper Genesis, Eternal Weekend before that. There's a lot to prepare for, and I just want to play some fun Magic with basically no stakes. There's a bunch of sweet cards in this pack. Atraxa turns on all of the banger put a monster into play stuff. There is a banger monster put a play into thing here. I like a Narset for blue control. Fourth Aerlingus is just a solid card. Gut True Soul Zealot is a closer. Fourth Aerlingus is the safe pick, but if I only do one cube this season, I want to have some fun. I'm going to take Atraxa and try to make that work. We've got Library of Alexandria, a controversial cube card somehow. Emeritus of Abundance, one of the new ones added with the Strixhaven update. Wistfulness is a looter. Othari Sun's Glory would go great with that fourth Aerlingus that I passed, but that's okay. Harvester of Misery is kind of removal and kind of a reanimate target. Get a little bit of both. Guide of Souls is just a great card. But I'm trying to do something here. Ledger Shredder could help reanimate as well. For me, it's between Snuff Out and Harvester here. And good decks just have good removal. And this library is so tempting, though. But if I'm a combo deck, I might be mulling into powerful hands. I'm going to take the Snuff Out over the library. Mind Twist, hello. Vaultborn Tyrant, also hello. Vaultborn Tyrant. So Emrakul is not a Reanimator target traditionally because it shuffles itself away. Vaultborn Tyrant is great with Reanimate and Flash and Sneak Attack and Show and Tell. Like, it dovetails all the things that Atraxa wants to do, Natural Order. Mind Twist is just a messed up magic card, though. But there are only so many giant big O's that people would want to cheat into play in the cube. And if I take the really desirable big O's, I might get the enablers later in the draft. And Night's Whisper is great. Mind Twist is great. Quantum Riddler, super safe card to have in a deck. But I think when I took that Atraxa, I picked a lane, and I'm going to exist in it. Worldspine Worm is one of the best things to flash, but a terrible thing to reanimate. I think it's Verdant Catacombs here. I like Collective Brutality, but I'm not quite sure where my deck's going. And just having fixing, keeping those doors open. I don't know if this is going to be a show and tell deck, a sneak attack deck, a reanimator deck, a natural order deck. I'd love to see Collective Brutality back. I would also accept Worldspine Worm. And I don't think I'm getting this Ponder back, but just thinking about what I might catch on the wheel here. Niv Mizzet, not actually that good to flash it unless your deck is really built to use it. Okay, a Creeping Tar Pit. That's some more fixing in the colors I think I'm going to be. Dam is just a card I like. Savannah is fetchable off the Verdant Catacombs. That makes this a black, green, white source. I think it's Dam, Deathrite, or Savannah for my options here. But I do like Dam. And I'm going there. Bayou, Michelangelo, Weirdness to 11. This has nothing to do with what I'm doing. Vindicate, solid removal on the splash. Dauthi Voidwalker, just a solid body if I end up base black. Brazen Borrower, solid interaction with generic permanents. I think, or also Imperial Seal is here, but I don't really like that one. So it's Dauthi Voidwalker if I just want a guy, or Bayou if I want to make my mana a little bit better. We don't play in pod, so I don't have to worry about playing against the Voidwalker. All right, I'm going to take the Voidwalker. Look at me with a second Bayou anyway if I want it. Cavero Mindbitten, aka Superior Spider-Man, is here as a pseudo reanimate. Overgrown Tomb is here as a bad Bayou. Sheoldred's Edict is good removal. Different Wan Shi Tong, not the one that gets played in formats. Whenever one or more cards are put into a library from anywhere, create 2 spirits. That's a weird thing to ask me to do. I'm going to take the removal spell as I've been doing. My third crack at a Bayou. I think it might finally be time to take one. Or I could get this Verdant Catacombs to access red. I don't think I'm going to catch that sneak attack on the wheel. However, Stomping Grounds would be awesome if I did. And Through the Breach, also a card in the cube. I actually am going to take the Stomping Grounds. And I did not get back the sneak attack. I did get back Metamorphosis Fanatic, though. Chain of Smog, also a hot spec here. I am supporting this, and nobody's going to take Witherbloom Apprentice if it's opened. I think Metamorphosis Fanatic is better, though. Harvester of Misery. Pillage the Bog, also pretty nice. But I am starting to get back cards I thought about the first time. Knight's Whisper, hello. Weastwood Verge, I could also think about. I could also get this fetchable white source. Okay, I think I actually do want the white source. I got another one. Savannah, nice. Yeah, this Verdant Bayou, holy moly. All right, my mana just got redonkulous for some reason, somehow. So this Verdant Catacombs gets all of these lands except for Waterlog Grove. Well, there's Flash. That is literally the card that I picked these various things in case I open. Itali is incredible with Flash. Shieldred is just a good card. At the Cube Draft Pro Tour, I take Shieldred here, but I'm taking Flash because this is one of my favorite things to do in the Cube, and I've drafted like I was going to open it, and I have been rewarded. Okay, now I need some black sources. There was a Watery Grave in the pack I just passed. There's that Witherbloom Apprentice. Problem is you just don't know if it's even going to be opened. A Sheldock Isle, another spicy way to do cool stuff with big things. Lotus Petal, I don't hate. Occult Epiphany is actually quite good as well. I think I'm more likely to wheel Sheldock Isle. I'm going to take Occult Epiphany here. But Generous Ent is also a self-entombing Big O. But I'm trying to become blue-black here based on the spells I've opened. Flage, rest in peace, banned in Modern recently. Bone Shards is a Reanimate enabler. So is Malcolm. Sure, mine's just a really good card, but I'm not really using it. Yeah, I think I want Malcolm here. And Lutry's also just free. Any deck that takes Lutry can make it their companion in Cube. That's just how Cube works. But I don't think I need a free 3-2. Or I don't need an 8th card in my hand that's a 6-mana 3-2. I'd rather have Malcolm. Otawara, Borinoculus, Mana Drain, Troll of Khazad-dûm. It's a lot of good cards for me here. I think I'm going to be base black, and getting blue-blue might be difficult. Doomsday. If I catch this on the wheel, I will think about including it in my deck and seeing if I can build a Doomsday pile in. Doomsday is pretty nice in Cube because people aren't really set up to fight it. We'll see if that comes back around. Rockran Triome perfectly does not get fetched by Verdant Catacombs. I don't have to think about that. I'm going to take the Troll. This is a late Minsc Boo. Can I play this card? I probably just want this Exhume. Or even Kaito. And Minsc Boo. Looking good, though. I technically have access to red and green, but my deck's forming into this nice Dimir control Reanimator pile. I think I want to head in that direction. Do I actually think Kaito is just a better thing? Because if I have Dauthi Voidwalker and Malcolm, Kaito does Surveil. And right now I have Flash. I have Metamorphosis Fanatic, okay. I think Exhume is more likely to wheel than Kaito. Dismember is nice. Also Zagoth Triome, that's just all the colors my deck is. I think Dismember is just too good here to let go. There was also a Jace Wielder in that pack to pay off the Doomsday if that comes back around my way. Oath of Druids, huh? Oh, Bloodchief's Thirst, reasonable interaction. Oath of Druids. And I don't want to hit Malcolm or Dauthi Voidwalker off this. But Oath is a powerful sideboard card against decks with lots of creatures. I could also just take Grist as a magic card that's fine. I'm going to take Oath on spec. Leovold, Emissary of Trust. That is my guy. Rafine's Tower, though, another fetchable blue source. Can I get away from just a bug banger like this? I don't think I can. Literally impossible. Holy moly, this pack. Shieldred and Watery Grave on the wheel. I currently have no blue sources. Like, no fetchable, toolable blue sources. Watery Grave ties together with the Verdant Catacomb and the Troll of Khazad-dûm. Oh no. Shieldred's so fucked, though. I'm taking Shieldred. That was a difficult decision that I didn't think I was going to have to make. Generous Ent. Recurring Nightmare. I did get the Doomsday back, but would I rather have Otawara? Almost certainly. Exhume on the wheel. Read that one right. Coalition Relic. I'll take some fixing. Somebody got the Jace and the Doomsday last picks, though. That was nice for them. If they're in any position to use them. And Tameo, Collector of Tales. I'm unlikely to play this card, but it is in my colors and does fit my strat. Like Self-Mill is pretty nice. Moving the Oath to the sideboard. I don't think I'm going to be able to main deck that. Recurring Nightmare, I'm not really supporting either. I'm going to move Tameo to the sideboard because I don't really want to main deck that card. Right, I've got Oko, Miscalculation, and Grief are cards I'm seriously considering here. I think I want Grief. I'm not very good at interacting with things that aren't creatures right now. I have a lot of creature removal. I'm not really checking hands. I'm not really countering spells. Yeah, I will take Grief. Life Death, that's a reanimate. Vicious Rivalry is a sweeper. Woodfall Primus is a flashable threat. Subtlety, I don't really have enough blue cards to support that. I think it's Life Death, and I hope to get back Primus or Rivalry. Duress is the pick for me here. There's Malevolent Rumble, which I would be splashing for. Thought Scour is fine. Sedgemoor Witch, there's another piece to go with the Chain of Smog we saw. Yeah, Duress, same reason I took the Grief. I don't deserve it, but I'd really like an Underground Sea. I'd even take Tropical Island. Or a blue fetch land. A Polluted Delta would be okay, Misty Rainforest. But with Troll and Ent, an actual dual land would be great. Azara Baghdad, if I'm really ready to live it. Is this Carnage in real life? Okay, yeah, this is Carnage in real life. Grizzlebrand is not a flash creature. It is a very good reanimate creature. Am I doing anything with Underworld Breach? Shifting Woodland, actually interesting. That's kind of a reanimate. But it's a big commitment to green. Ignoble Hierarch, like, you don't splash for fixing. If I was base green, I'd take it, but I'm not. I'd take Starting Town. All right, I'm going to take Starting Town. Sorry, Grizzlebrand. I don't think you're where I need to be right now. A Vamp Tutor. Now that I have Metamorphosis Fanatic, the Vamp Tutor is a lot more interesting than the Imperial Seal was that I patched earlier. This is another Bayou. Zenith doesn't help me. Alpha Deathclaw is not that interesting. I'm going to take the Vamp Tutor. Urborg, Dark Confidant. Greatness at any cost. Deck full of 7 drops. Come get me. Winds of Abandon. I have multiple fetchable white sources. This is just removal. Mystical Tutor can be a flash or a reanimate. Okay, I'm taking Mystical Tutor. Botanical Sanctum. I might just have to take this blue land that does anything here. I got kind of cooked on that Sheoldred over Watery Grave pick, but Sheoldred is just so good that I think we live with it. Fallen Shinobi, Bitter Triumph. I'm not really using Gaia's Cradle. Can't use Fury. It is Bitter Triumph for me. Removal, that's also a Graveyard Enabler. Now we start to find out, did I get Woodfall Primus back? Did I get any of those secondary cards I wanted the first time around? Keen-Eye Curator, Astral Cornucopia. Technically fixing. Not very good fixing, though. I literally don't think I'm playing any of these cards. But I'm more likely to play Cornucopia than I am the other ones. Vicious Rivalry. I'll take a sweeper. Thought Scour, Master of Death. It's Thought Scour. Zahar Baghdad. I really don't want that card. I'll take Ignoble Hierarch, even though I'm probably not going to play it. Yeah, Carnage doesn't make sense for my deck. Ndatha Triumph is a Bayou versus Tireless Tracker, which is something to do with my mana. I'll take the Bayou. It's a Bayou that casts Atraxa. All of my monsters are castable. Oh, wow. I don't have very many islands, but I'm not afraid of greatness at any cost. Twilight Diviner, kind of interesting. I got a lot more cards than I need here. Okay, my black mana is excellent. My green mana comes incidentally. I don't think I need to play a forest in this deck with Bayou and Ndatha Triumph and Verdant Catacombs and Starting Town. And, yeah, okay. I have a ton of green sources and Generous Ent that can get the non-basic forests. Yeah, mostly kind of Dimir mid-range with the ability to flash or reanimate as a surprise. I gotta make 6 cuts here. I think Dark Confidant I can live without. Twilight Diviner. I don't really need this Coalition Relic. I got a lot of removal. That is not a concern I'm gonna have. Kaito is kind of standing out to me right now. I could also board in Vicious Rivalry if I need it. It is a drain on my life total on the splash and won't necessarily even always be good. It does destroy all artifacts, though, which is high value in Cube, even against some of the decks that don't have creatures. All right, I'm bringing this back into the maybe stack. Not ready to cut it yet. Thought Scour is optional. I don't have that high velocity of reanimates or monsters to really cash that out. Thought Scour can chill. I think I like all the creatures. Harvester of Misery is the one that is standing out a little bit as maybe Not that important. Nah, I like the removal spell. Gotta go with it. I feel like Kaito's not gonna make the deck right now. Kaito is what I took over Exhume, which I caught on the wheel anyway, I think. If that's the pick I remember. Just trying to think if I wasted a pick on that guy or not. I don't think I did. Do I need Vamp and Mystical? I guess that's two sources of card disadvantage, but they are hard tutors. Maybe Mystical is just enough worse than Vamp that I don't need two of that. 10 black sources, 8 blue sources. Green sources are fine. I even have some incidental white to cast Atraxa if I want to. This is a lot of basic islands, but because of how it all worked out with the mana, I might need them. I'm going to cut one for another swamp. I'm definitely base black, and green is air quotes free. Like, I'm not doing anything specific to get green, even though calling it free in a deck is silly. I only have 3 blue cards, or 4 blue cards, but they are cards that are important to cast when I have access to them. There are enough colorless pips in the deck as well that an island isn't useless. Like Dam and Dothy Voidwalker, Vamp Tutor, Duress. There's a lot of places where Basic Island is useless. 7 is enough sources, though. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, this is the deck. Let's do it. The weekend of July 11th, I'll be headed to Baltimore for the DMV Legacy League's Triple Threat Weekend. CubeCon DMV is the heart of the event, featuring 3 drafts of elite curated cubes with a cut to top 8 on Sunday. Saturday, you can test your mettle in the DMV Legacy League's annual Legacy Open, the Classic. And Sunday, join the NYC Pauper League in Pauper Genesis, the biggest Pauper event in North America to date. And best of all, the event is for charity. Sign up at dmvll.com/BoshNRoll. Save $20 if you sign up for the Classic before June 1st. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 1. I have a straight line to Vaultborn Tyrant. I will take it. This is a turn 3 Tyrant. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6 cards. Oh. Yeah, I'll put Flash in my hand. Oh, that's so fucked. Now I can flash in the Tyrant. It dies. It creates a token that's a copy of it, and then I reanimate the other one. Oh, baby. All right, Otawara as my blue source. Opponent tapped out. Send it time. Duh! All right. Got me. All right. I still have a route to Vaultborn Tyrant. The line is not completely cooked. Bayou, and I'll pass. Okay, I think in the end step, I'm going to cycle into Triome. I get to do something, and I don't have to play into this open mana. Bitter Triumph. That can put Vaultborn Tyrant in the graveyard, whether the spell resolves or not. Okay, I am going to pass. I could go for a Tyrant now. If I can get Tyrant into the graveyard, I have multiple sends to get it into play. So having one of my graveyard enablers resolve is pretty important here. Time Twister. Nothing I can do about that. All right. New hand. Oh, Leovold right on time. We love a post-Time Twister Leovold. But I drew on Dotha Triumph again. I can cycle that. Yeah, I have Duress and then resolve Leovold. That's a pretty good sequence versus a lot of control decks. Dothy Voidwalker. I'm going to Duress first, see what's going on over there. Echo of Eons, Frantic Search, Lorien revealed Lion's Eye Diamond. Homie, I got bad news for you. I'll take the Lion's Eye Diamond. And then green, blue, black. Ka-chow. The hard counter to the draw 7 deck. It's in play. Let me cook. Raucous Theater. Dump Time Spiral. Yeah, you don't want that card right now, do you? I've redrawn Flash. I'm going to deploy my beloved Voidwalker and get to work here. All right, they're under pressure, and their hand is a bunch of bricks. A removal spell changes that quickly. There's a mountain. I'm probably boarding out this vicious rivalry. Opponent seems to have not really any creatures or artifacts. At least not artifacts that would stay in play for very long. Okay, just playing out the mountains. Harvester of Misery. Oh, something's happening. Am I getting Pyrokinesis? Yeah, I am. Okay, I will draw a card. I did not draw Reanimate. Pyrokinesis is in exile. Attack. Other creatures get -2 until end of turn. Damn. I can't even play this guy. Alright, I guess I have to pass and let them do what they're going to do here. Fabled Passage. That unlocks Lorien Revealed and Echo of Eons. Opponent's creatureless deck doing the work over there. A lot of blanks in my hand right now. Another one. Attack with Dothy. Opponent's at 5. I'll draw a card with Waterlog Grove. Okay. Sure. Okay. Another threat in play. Unless it gets counterspelled, of course, which, whatever. Not doing anything else with my hand. We're in there. Okay, opponent now has to take action. They are officially dead on board and must kill one of these things, or kill specifically this thing, or combo out over top of me. Oh no, that's so bad. All right, well, I was hoping my Hate Bear held the fort for a little while. I don't know if I'm going to get that. Frantic Search, off you go. I can still dismember a Hull Breacher if they have that thing. Echo Vians and Hogak discarded. Opponent's cooking. What's that Hogak doing? Where's that going to come from? That means their deck has the ability to make at least 2 green or black creatures. That's very strange compared to every card I've seen so far in this game. I've just realized I still had my draft record on instead of my play record. The screen should be nicer for you now. Okay, the Echo Vians has occurred. Frantic Search came back around. Discarded 2 lands. Wow, alright, crazy. Big Leo. Didn't even matter that I drew 6 blank cards that game. Okay, what do I want to do with this? I want to play to the board a lot more. Kaito, Dark Confidant, maybe even Twilight Diviner. Dam is coming out. We saw Hogak. Like, they have some intention over there of putting creatures into play somehow. Harvester of Misery definitely gone. And Vicious Rivalry. I still have enough removal in the deck that if they do show me a Hull Breacher or how Hogak comes into play or the Hogak itself, I'm not ice cold to it. All right, let's go. And it's a little clunky, but I'm in. It's a turn 2 Genercent or a turn 2 Dothy Voidwalker. Or I just get wheeled so many times it doesn't matter what I have. When I'm mulled to 6 again. Soul Ring. Good card. Obviously never saw a piece of power in my draft. I don't even know what they look like. I've never heard of them. Starting Town makes the whole deck function. Pentad Prism. Opponent's cooking. I'm going to get comboed very soon, I think. Cycle Genercent. Get the Bayou. Yeah, Bayou. And I think Dothy Voidwalker among my options here. Like, this does affect some of the stuff they have, like Echo of Eons. It also does die to the burn spells they have, which Genercent doesn't. But I'd almost rather they kill Dothy Voidwalker and I reanimate that than just try to go coast to coast with a 5/7 with no abilities. No relevant abilities. Oh god, what is this? Oh, just... Here's that guy. Well, I'm glad Kaito's in my deck. Okie dokie. Attack. Can't block. It's illegal. Kaito. Bonk ya. Second main. Stun this guy. And now, hold the fort, Kaito. Tapping 6 mana again. Time Spiral. Yeah, we're having fun. Shieldred. Yeah, that card's also in my deck. And quite good against my opponent's strategy. I hope. Frantic Search. Still moving. Still schmoving. Flash with Metamorphosis Fanatic is an interesting interaction because the Metamorphosis Fanatic dies before it triggers, goes on the stack. So I can just flash Metamorphosis Fanatic directly into play and then also reanimate something else. One of these dumbass things that a casual player wouldn't believe you if you told them. Draw for turn. My ninjas get bigger because I'm going to have to stun this at some point. And I just drew 7 cards, so what are we fighting over? And ram Shieldred onto the stack. Who I can reanimate next turn if they counter or kill. She's in there. A trigger has successfully resolved. Sneak attack. Oh no, there's a second gear. What do you got? Niv Mizzet. Okay. That does trigger Vaultborn Tyrant, which loses you 2 life, and then converts 0 cards. You do get to kill Kaito. But that's what I was talking about, Niv Mizzet being like a pretty poor thing at doing this thing. Like, wow, ignoring Kaito, going face. The hubris. Hull Breacher confirmed in the deck, by the way. All right, dismiss all of those. I don't need to know about them anymore. I gain 2 life, and then I'm going to attack. When it's at 7, I'm going to stun Vaultborn Tyrant again. And do I need an untapped mana? So I could Shieldred's Edict and Flash and Dismember if I play this untapped land. If Shadowy Backstreet dumps a creature right now, that gives me big moves on the Flash. Right, I am going to Shadowy Backstreet. I don't think Dismember is going to be the difference here. Okay, Swamp to the graveyard. Didn't want that anyway. Bonus of 5. There's a sneak attack on the battlefield. Dumped Bloodstained Mire. I'm being snuck again. Hogak. Okay. All right. You gain 4 life and then lose 2 life. Or you gain 3 life and then lose 2 life. Okay, so they're not putting green creatures into play. They're sneak attacking. And I do have a sneak blocker too. I could also just Bitter Triumph the Hogak. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I can see who it's attacking first, if they're suddenly worried about Kaito or not. Still going face. That makes me nervous. I'm going to discard Savannah to bonk this Hogak. I have Lethal on board without the Metamorphosis Fanatic. I could pile it on, just flash that in the end step, or I could not. Chain Lightning my face. And they don't have the damage. Shieldred, MVP that game. And the sideboard Kaito is pretty nice. Do I want to actually change that? Yeah, in deck building, it was Vicious Rivalry versus Kaito was kind of that last slot. And having a full sweeper that might do nothing against a deck like this, but might be the only thing that saves me versus a different deck. And maybe it's Harvester of Misery, just becomes Kaito. Because Harvester of Misery is kind of a sweeper and kind of a spot removal spell. I am going to make that change in my deck moving forward.
The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here.
I'm on the draw in round 2. My opponent's got the On the House Lutri Companion. I'll keep my hand. I'm doing stuff. Fair and square over here. Kept a card on top. Vamp Tutor. That's pretty cool. Dotha Triome. I don't want that. It is green mana that I'm missing, but I'll try to live without it. I think what I'm going to do this turn is grief my opponent and try to set up Metamorphosis Fanatic. The problem with that is I have to pitch one of these cards, and they're all kind of good. Yeah, I'll pitch Bitter Triumph and just get after it with grief. I can still dismember this Llanowar Elf and cast Vamp Tutor. A Solitude, Witch Enchanter, Savine's Wreck, Fury, Eagles of the North. And it's got to be Solitude, right? Yep, Solitude's out of here. And pass. Cycling Eagles. Sacred Foundry. Untapped. Are they just buying Lutri or do they draw a 3-drop? Buying Lutri, sure. Okay, end step, I'm going to do some stuff. Fetch Bayou. And cast Vamp Tutor. Metamorphosis Fanatic on top of the deck. Draw. It's a miracle. Cast this. Grief you. Probably take Fury. Yep. Fury's out of here. Play Scrubland. Library of Alexandria showing up right when you want it. Okay, passing the turn. I've got a removal spell ready. Yeah, they just have to cast Witch Enchanter as a fella. Okay, we'll draw engine going. Drawing a card immediately. I think I want to... Well, do I want to trade Grief for their whole board and keep Dismember in my hand? I think I do, actually. I could end step Dismember, but if they want to trade their whole board for a card I got for free that also made them discard a card already, I can accept that to cover their next play. Childred's in. Off she goes, doing her thing. Who needs a Watery Grave? Plains. There's one unknown in their hand. Sandstorm Salvager. This makes a Golem, which charges the staff, which Childred will punish if they activate, but they probably have to because they're pretty far behind. The cards in their hand are not helping. I gain 2 life. Botanical Sanctum tapped. Fire in with the squad. It's kind of annoying that the Sandstorm Salvager with Savine's Wreck is a thing here. If they double block, I can cook that with Dismember. And even if they have Reprieve, I can still cast Dismember here. Okay, opponent's at 6. They're at 4. They can gum the board up here, but I have 2 4/4s now. Double blocks aren't allowed. Oh no, that guy's good. They haven't gained life though. Savine's wreck. Just gumming up the situation with random dudes. Witch Enchanter has a land. That gives you City's Blessing, sure. Troll of Khazad-dûm. All right, what does an attack look like from me here? They can double block and kill Metamorphosis Fanatic. They can't kill Shieldred. Or they could kill Shieldred, lose their whole board, and go to 1. Interesting. And then Savine's Wreck gets 2 things back. Is it better for me to just let Shieldred kill them here than to attack and let Savine's Wreck do anything? All right, I'm going to cast Troll of Khazad-dûm and just let my opponent die to Shieldred. And the attack could go wrong enough here that I think it's better to let them bleed out. And if they have a Plow or a Path to Exile as their last card in hand, they're going to win anyway. That would have made combat way worse. Oh, going straight into the ground. Exile, or going down to 2 to draw a card. That means there is instant speed removal in the deck. That's the only reason to do that. Okay. Cool game. Came down to some interesting combat math. Harvester of Misery, the card I boarded out, coming directly back in. And I like Vicious Rivalry. I mean, this is the thing, right? There are matchups where Harvester of Misery and Vicious Rivalry are good, and there's matchups where Kaito are good. And they're not frequently going to be the same matchups. But you just have to kind of guess which one you're going to play against. And I've guessed wrong twice now. Playing cross-pod, it's a full crapshoot. You don't actually know. But I guess the way that you can mitigate that, raise the floor on that guessing game, is Kaito will still stun a creature or draw a card in a creature matchup before it gets run over in combat. Vicious Rivalry and Harvester of Misery will do nothing if your opponent has no targets or reason to do that. So Kaito has a much higher floor than a removal spell does. So I think it's right to build Kaito in your main deck, even though I am immediately getting punished for having done the opposite thing and then this thing in sequential order on camera for everyone to see. This might be a good Oath matchup too. Got a lot of creatures over there. All right, what are my creatures? Most of these are not embarrassing to hit off Oath. Malcolm is the only one that's like, man, what the fuck? Yeah, I'll take this. Maybe I don't want Dothy Voidwalker. So that decreases my Oath misses, though my opponent did just make a game out of a non-game entirely on the back of Savine's Wreck. Damn Rivalry and Harvester. I got a bunch of sweepers here. Do I shave Duress? They had an awful lot of creatures, but they were drawing hard to something at the end of that game. I don't think I want to shave Generous End. All right, I'm going to shave Duress and get Oath of Druids in here. Sideboarding in Limited is so fun, especially Cube Draft, where your sideboard is just all good cards. All right, a little sloppy, but turn 2 Troll of Khazad-dûm with a removal spell, unless I find some way to enable this Vaultborn Tyrant, then we're cooking. Turn 1 Urza Saga. Okay, that explains why. Oh, okay, okay. Cool deck. The Jacked Rabbit. All right, well, I'm going to jack that rabbit straight into the garbage. And I could use Dismember to do this. Or I could snuff it out and cycle Troll. I have ways to spend my mana both ways here. Unfortunately, with this start, going to discard and just dropping my Vaultborn Tyrant, skipping a turn is not an option. All right, I'm going to snuff out. That's out of here. Vicious Rivalry, though. Hello. That would be a nice one to show up here. Llanowar Elves. Cycle Troll. I'm going to get Bayou. Do I want Bayou or Shadowy Backstreet? I think I want Bayou. There's enough 2-mana cards I would cast here. Okay. If I Exhume, they get their rabbit back. But I have a 6/5. They're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to have 2 5/5s. All right, you can have your stupid rabbit. It's smaller than when I killed it, but at least I got something going on here. Making a construct in response. This is why Exhume is the worst of the reanimates, especially in decks that have removal spells in them. Versus Bauble, a pretty moderate tutor target. It's not a Soul Guide Lantern. Hex Drinker. No attack. Wow. They didn't want to trade with my Troll of Khazad-dûm. That's surprising and enticing. Okay. I cannot play Leovold here and expect a good result, so I'm going to hold up this Dismember. Hopefully they just like sink 2 mana into Hex Drinker or protection from instants. I don't even care about that much because I have a 6/5 in play. I guess my hope is they attack with both constructs and Dismember kills them both. It's easy peasy. No cards in hand. The full redraw experience. Leovold. Rotting in my hand. Smuggler's Copter. Oh no. That's not what I wanted. Another artifact. All right. Well, block one. Dismember the other. This still works the same, except I lose my troll. But dealing with 2/6/6s is pretty nice. Okay, those are gone. Can I draw my sweeper right now? Rivalry, let's go! Oh, that is a sweeper, but not this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm not gonna survive this if... Yeah, I'm not gonna survive this Hex Drinker if I wait a turn. What are my outs to Hex Drinker? Like, if I play Leovold this turn, and then... Alright, I'm gonna play Leovold this turn and just hope I can handle Hex Drinker another way. There's also a bunch of 1 and 2 power guys in play right now that... And also Smuggler's Copter doing stuff. There's Urza's Bauble on the battlefield. I got 2 draw steps to figure out Hex Drinker. Children's Edict is in my deck. I guess if they're Korean Copter, I have 1 draw step to figure it out. They found the line. Yeah, it turns out starting the game on the play and up 2 mana from your opponent is pretty good. I think all of the cards that I have would have beaten all of the cards they had if we were both casting them at the same time, which is obviously not what happened. Power Cube, yada yada. But you know what I'm saying. I brought a legacy deck to a vintage fight. Okay, I'm not going to show them that I have this sweeper. Brutal. Multiple Moxen over there. Okay. What can I do about any of this? I have 3 sweepers in my deck. The Oath actually would have been a heater that game or any game. I think even that same game, if their opening land drop wasn't Urza Saga, even if they played all the same cards at the same speed, but Urza Saga wasn't also part of it. Yeah, no. And that's not me, bad beating. It's me trying to figure out where the game went wrong and if I need to make massive adjustments or if I need to just hope they draw less than 2 pieces of power in their opener. Okay, I will keep this. Clunky, but a lot of upside. Starting time. I have Indatha Triome in my deck, right? Because the Bayou's in my hand. Yes, there is 1 forest in my deck. Mother! And Mox Emerald. And Urza's Bauble. Okay, I think cycling the Ent is still... Oh, I have Savannah too. Fun. I'll take that one. Oh, okay. We got a plan. We got a plan. Everyone chill. Atraxa will be in play. I'm going to play Bayou and pass. They bobbled to see Occult Epiphany. That is the surprise I was trying to surprise them with. Oscillate Pride. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, end step. Occult Epiphany for 1. That's all we need. Discard Atraxa, make a spirit. I don't think Mana Tithe. Or Mana Tithe might be in the cube. Yeah, whatever, I'll play around it. Might as well. All right, Reanimate Atraxa. Trigger. Didn't die in response to the trigger. That's interesting news. Okay, so there's a Vamp Tutor here who can get Metamorphosis Fanatic. Oh, they've just had enough. Little white creatures can't hang in Atraxa's world. Pack 1, pick 1 validated. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in the final trophy round. My hand is fine. This Malcolm punishing my low blue source count, of course, but I do kind of like the option to Grief and then Death Grief. Another Mother deck. When will they learn? Children's Edict. That gets around Mother. Okay. No follow-up play. I like it. Oh, I could Malcolm now. Interesting. All right, I'm going to play Otawara and leave it up to my opponent. If they play something too good, I can Shoulders Edict in response. That one's really good. All right, I am going to Edict in response. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. I would rather kill Felia, but if you could give your opponent a choice versus not giving them a choice, you should take the play that doesn't give them a choice, because the only reason they would sacrifice Felia here is if they know something I don't. And being on the play is busted. I also could have griefed them. Maybe I'm just supposed to do that. Respect the world, the powerful world of Vintage Cube. All right, so you get a bunch of bats here. Amp Tutor, interesting. Does that change how I'm going to play this game? I don't think it does. All right, so Grief, pitching Life Death. See what's left over there. Elspeth and Jackrabbit. Elspeth is a long way off. I'm taking the card they can play. And unfortunately, for my mana base, I can't cast Leovold and Vamp Tutor for Metamorphosis Fanatic and Fanatic all next turn, because I don't have a black dual land in play. I will trade this Leovold for Felia. They're going to flicker this out anyway. That is just how that works. They could flicker out Leovold and just deal a pile of damage to me and let me draw a card. They didn't do that. Felia's got to be stopped. 4-3, smash into my 3-3. Hopefully that 3-3 will be back with Lifelink in the near future. Oh god, hit a land. Moderately stressful. Oh, that helps a little bit. Okay, please, opponent, don't draw a land for your bullshit Planeswalker. Give me one turn to breathe here. No! I hate Magic so much. All right, so if one or more tokens would be created, I guess this is just going to have to happen. Create a soldier token, which is actually 2 soldier tokens. That's fine. I have to snuff out the Evangelist before combat. All right. Or I guess I should have done that in response to the Elspeth. It has a death trigger, everyone. All right. Can I possibly win this game? Destroy target creature with mana value 3 or greater. That'll make my life harder. When do I want this Malcolm in play? Am I going to chump with it now? Am I going to attack with it next turn? I could make it a surprise blocker next turn. All right, end step, Vamp Tutor. Grab Fanatic. Fanatic, play it. Get back Leovold, I guess. I'd like to at least draw a card if they're going to kill my shit. I guess I'm just dead to the 0. All right, yeah, it doesn't matter. I needed my opponent not to rip 2 lands in a row, and he did. Yeah, I just wasn't in a position to beat Jackrabbit on the turn where that mattered. Okay, they know how their card works. Unlucky for me. Okay. We're in another Harvester of Misery and not Kaito matchup. Made it right back. I think this is a yes Oath, no Dothy matchup. Do I also cut Malcolm if I'm bringing in Oath? Is a reasonable question to ask. And Kaito is... Well, Kaito gets worse if I cut the low-end stuff that I would want to Kaito into. All right, yeah, I'm not doing that. I could add Mystical Tutor as a route to Vicious Rivalry. Okay, I guess I'm doing this. Oath of Druids pivot online. Hell yeah. Duress into Flash. Let's party. Duress you. Handful of creatures. Sure. Windswept Teeth Blade. A Shieldred. All right, I'm going to pass. Hard to imagine them not just playing a Johnny next turn. My brain briefly shorted out because I couldn't figure out why this wasn't a Surveil land, and it's because we're playing limited and they might not have a Surveil land. Just duressing their hand, I thought I was playing Modern for a second. Johnny's here. I can clean that up and or overpower it. Flash out my Vaultborn Tyrant. Bunch of stuff happens. Draw a card, get another one, draw another card. Botanical Sanctum. The perfect weapon. Attack my opponent's life points directly. And I'm going to make them sacrifice a non-token creature. I want a Johnny gone before it does anything else. And then Shieldred can slam the door next turn. I wish I had Shieldred now to punish this easy peasy. But I don't. Because I don't have any Moxen. Mountain Plains discarded. The race is on. Get your 2 points. Okay, I can attack first. I will get to trigger Vaultborn Tyrant off casting Shieldred, but I don't think doing this before or after combat changes how I would sequence this. Bang. All right, you're at 6. You go to 4. If opponent comes up with 2 removal spells real quick, I might be in some trouble. Or they might just die. Cool. Disrespecting these white weenie decks is what the top end of this deck is meant to do. I just need to get to it. I like my plan. I'd love to play turn 2 Oath of Druids this game. Can we do it? No, but Vicious Rivalry is here. And I think I will grief them pitching the Leovold this game. That might have been my greed in game 1, punishing me. Oh, duress. All right, I guess I'll duress you. And then I may still yet do the other thing. You have a spell this time? Hey, we got one. Elspeth, sit down, shut up. And I see the Felia over there as well, which means I'm also going to grief. Felia's got to go. All right, pass the turn. Take stock of what's left in the opponent's hand. They've got Windswept Heath, Seasoned Pyromancer, Sanguine Evangelist, and Security Squadron. They're just going to ram out Squadron to get on board, or did they draw a good card? Hell yeah. Squad 0 times. Grizzly Bear has resolved. Botanical Sanctum, pass the turn. For what it's worth, I think they are right to play the Security Squadron. It's just not a good card. Whenever a creature token you control enters, put a +1 counter on it. Okay, there are more words on that. Curving it out makes even more sense. Goblin Bombardment. That is a reasonable card, I suppose. Oh, I see how this card works. You squad it, and then the squad re-squads, and each one comes in 1 point bigger than the last. Cool. Okay, Mystical Tutor can get Flash, which can Metamorphosis Fanatic and Grief. We will see if that is good enough, if that is what I want to do. Is that how I'm going to play the game? The Evangelist is coming in. It does create some issues for me. You get to attack. Do I want to Wrath first or Grief first? This is mana value X or less. My mana values are going to be 4 and 6. I like that. Okay, I'm taking Flash. And I think the draw step is the time I'm supposed to do this. Well, it's draw step or combat. I think I want to do it. No, draw step is the right time. Because in combat, like with the Goblin Bombardment, I'm not going to get them with a lifelink anyway. In the draw step, Flash, put in Fanatic. I'm not going to pay. Fanatic, bring back Fanatic. Fanatic, bring back Grief. It has lifelink and a lifelink counter on it. If only that gained twice as much life. A Johnny, Prismatic Ending, and Seasoned Pyromancer. A Johnny has got to go. Holy moly, I was about to lose to that for sure. Okay, Prismatic Ending has no targets, because they only have 2 colors of mana. Can't play the Seasoned Pyromancer. They could do some stuff with the Sanguine Evangelist. Ping me and make a 2/2. They could also just ping off Grief, sacking 2 things. I'd be pretty happy if they did that. The greed in me wants to draw a card with this Waterlog Grove right now, because the chances I draw a land in my 2 cards and get to do what I want to do anyway are pretty good. But I'm not gonna succumb to temptation here. Okay, Swamp Cycle. I'll get Scrubland. And do I just Wrath now? They'd probably kill Grief on the way out, and they'd be left with a bat. What happens if I just attack with everybody? I'm gonna attack with everybody. The Metamorphosis is big, and Grief has Menace. Okay, we are getting actual clear the board blocks. Okay. I accept all of these things that have happened. And now I did draw the land, and I'm not going to Wrath, so I think I will draw a card now. There's 2 drops I would play. Endowed the Triumph. Perfect. They pass the turn. Glimmer Lens. I'm just kind of letting them commit more before I Wrath. With that big 7 points of lifelink, I've got moves. I'm just trying not to get cooked on the other side by the Seasoned Pyromancer refilling their board. Okay, making actual blocks here. Yeah, they could do this anyway, and the reason I'm playing the way I am is to gain the life on the way out. Black, green, 1, 2, pay 2 life. That takes the Glimmer Lens. They'll ping me for 2 on the way out. But I can't let Glimmer Lens start drawing cards. I have to stop playing around it here. I go back to 20. And I'm definitely trying to cycle this Endotha Triumph. Not playing that as a land. Okay, found a white. The other hand still doesn't function. Ooh. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change of lands. It's a land now. Hey, they're passing the turn. My queen. Fuck. Oh, watery grave. All right, seasoned pyromancer. You can draw your mountain now. When it's down to 11, still doesn't have a card to play. Big banger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I gain 5 life and draw a card. This game looks good, squad. 27 life. Bonus at 5. And a nice little trophy for the road. Yeah, this deck was pretty nice. I mean, that Shieldred over Watery Grave pick was really challenging because, I mean, Shieldred came up so many times in this league, and every time she resolved, she won the game. She really is just one of these hammers in the cube that any deck that can cast it is happy to have. But also, specifically having Troll of Khazad-dûm and Verdant Catacombs and a blue splash in my deck, having a Watery Grave would have been great. And pack 2, missing out on the Watery Grave twice, and the Bug Triome, and the Esper Triome. That was a bunch of Watery Graves that just came and went. And I don't think there was an Undercity Sewer, or yeah, that's the Surveil Land. Undercity Sewer in the draft. I feel like I would have seen it. People weren't taking those that highly. Underground Sea might have been opened by someone else. I don't know. But unpunished. Turns out you get as many basic lands as you want. You can just put enough islands in the deck to make that part of the deck work. And I did take this starting town pretty highly in pack 3 when I knew that was going to be a problem, and that card did come up in, I think, 2 of the games we played. It was just in my opening hand, and it was perfect. Fun stuff. I love Cube. Check out the DMV Cube Con that I've been promoting as well. If you skip the ads, I don't blame you, but I am actually promoting pretty cool events. And you can get a discount for signing up for some of those events by using my various activation codes. All of those are in my video description. Check them out if you like Cube or Legacy or Pauper or Pre-Modern or Vintage. All that stuff is down there. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. I'm out of here.